Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, audience discretion is advised. Welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. My name's James McCarthy. Welcome back to our second year of Magic Corner, which is apparently the official name for this now. But yeah, we started talking a little bit about Magic. The Lorwyn pre-release was this past weekend, but we recorded this before the weekend went off. And so we were talking a little bit about what we were expecting from the set, what are our hopes and dreams, and what kind of decks we're going to be building out of it. So without any further ado, past Jay, mention cat girls?
Speaking of cat girls, welcome to Magic Corner, and Lorwyn is
Ishtola?
And Lorwyn is about to release, and so no, this is a Lorwyn pre-release weekend, right before pre-release weekend.
That's very true.
What are we feeling about Lorwyn? How are we building decks with Lorwyn in mind? What are we doing, gentlemen? I open the floor.
I'm not gonna there's no. There is one commander that I want to talk a friend into building because she has like a fairy deck. And
there's plenty of those.
Lauren or something like that.
I don't know any of the fucking
I
names.
just saw it.
But she's the one that like when you play an elf or a fairy, you get to exile the top two cards and
is it Morrowind?
Yeah, you can once per turn you can cast one of those cards that has a mana value equal to or less than the number of elves or fairies that you have without paying its mana cost.
Yeah,
it's a really cool. It's Simic.
Yeah,
so you get it's the best colors for elves and the best colors for fairies. So it's like
it's definitely like one of the best colors for elves when it comes to Lorwyn stuff.
Well, it also has Dimir, which is
right.
Most fairies are in.
Most fairies are
colors.
either blue, black, or both.
Yeah.
This is gonna be Maryland. Fey Ascendant.
Yeah.
They have too many characters with similar names.
Yeah.
Whenever it or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top two cards of target opponent's library. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among cards exiled to Maryland this turn without paying its mana
that
cost.
Thunder Junction blue-green that is in standard right now. The one that allows you to play 2 less for cards in exile.
Oh,
Doc Arlock.
Arlock.
Oh, you're talking about the bear
Yes.
guy?
Yeah.
And it's Sultai, so black, green.
Yeah,
blue.
Sultai. I might have said the wrong thing, but it's
Oh,
Sultai.
yeah. That's
I
fair.
apologize.
No, you're good.
But yeah.
There's some fairies in black too, I think.
There are a few.
Yeah,
there are
fairies
few
are mostly either Dimir or black and blue.
Yeah.
Or just like
and then most
single
elves
blue.
are either Golgari, green, or black.
Yeah, you typically for fairies though, like if you're talking about the monocolored fairies, the mono blue ones are the strongest ones.
It's usually
they're
usually either
Glenelendra.
Dimir or blue.
Now
Like,
the black ones that are good are really fucking annoying. So for example, there is one from original Shadowmoor that has whenever a so it's a fairy rogue.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever a rogue, and a lot of fairies are rogues.
Yeah.
Also, but it says whenever a rogue enters, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. But it also has a static ability of a triggered ability whenever a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it deals damage to an opponent, they have to discard a card. So if you swing 5 dudes with counters at one of your opponents and they're just 1/1, so they're 2/2s, and discard their whole fucking hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's also a Fairy Macabre that just has. It's just like a good 2/2 flyer, but discard it from your hand. Target opponent discards a card from their hand.
And then the best fairy enchantment is Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
And they put that on a mono black fairy for this set, which that is a strong card.
Yeah.
That thing does that thing have flash?
Yes.
too?
I think it has flash.
2
yeah.
black flash
Jesus.
flying 2/2.
Yeah.
That's basically
I think that there's a fairy with like flash or something that does like a counter ability that's really powerful. That looks really powerful.
Yeah, so Spellstrutter Sprite is from original
Well, no, there's one coming out. It's like two and two blue or something
there's
like that.
one from original Lorwyn, and it was like one in a blue. Mm-hmm. And when it entered, you could counter a spell equal or less than the number of fairies that you control.
Yeah. I've seen that
which
before.
is really, really fucking solid. It's all playing Pauper.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's something that I'm looking at for a friend. But like there's like a list of cards that I have that I want to put in decks.
Ooh, Glenalendra Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. This is it.
3 mana mono blue fairy wizard, flash, flying. Creature enters with a -1/-1 counter.
Mm-hmm.
Pay 2, remove a counter from this creature, counter target non-creature spell.
Yeah, it's really solid.
Its controller draws a card.
Yeah,
it's really solid.
Yeah, that's good.
They did some really interesting things with the -1/-1 counter synergies for this version of Lorwyn.
I found they finally had a sale on a set of dice that's like -1/-1 counters and +1/+1 counters, and then the keyword dice that actually have the keywords that are most common and not like the super obscure ones, and for like $10. So I was like, let me get that because I'm definitely gonna need some -1/-1 counters.
Let me tell you something that they had to clear up about like 3 or 4 years after original Lorwyn Shadowmoor block. After it rotated, even they changed a rule because there was you know how they put like reminder rules text sometimes in packs or whatever, or at least in old pre-con decks they would have those reminder like what these mechanics do. Originally, -1/-1 counters and +1/+1 counters stayed on a creature. They did not cancel each other out. That shit is confusing.
Yes, that is very confusing.
But it was there for specific mechanics that happen. Like if a creature dies with a -1/-1 counter on it, like there's an enchantment from original Shadowmoor that says if a creature with -1/-1 counter on it dies, you get to put a -1/-1 counter on another creature. So if there's a lot of like little dudes out there, you can machine
enchantment coming out that does that.
You can machine they've done
I think because I was watching a Decked Out where they were doing the pre-con. They were all playing the pre-cons. They just like one of them, like two of them were that like the face commander.
They
and the
flipped
other
the commanders. Yeah, I think Spike Peters did that last time. There was two commanders.
Nerd Girl MTG, she was talking about like an old thing. And it was probably I think this is the exact thing where you could machine gun.
You could
down
basically
somebody.
like Masker Girl like most of the board that was like small enough.
Yeah,
because and also Black Sun Zenith was a card. So you could like Black Sun -1 counter on
That's
every
in the pre-con.
Yeah. Black Sun is
the blight pre-con. It's in
sweet. I'm gonna get that one.
That Jund pre-con.
The Jund pre-con. I'm gonna end up getting the 5-color one because there's a lot of stuff in there that I want. Not necessarily to keep the deck, although I like the Massive Mysteries better than I like Ashley.
Yes.
But
yeah, I'm not a fan of elementals, but you know, it's.
But
whatever.
there's a ton of like, and none of there's not really like a mythic card or like a hard to find card or an expensive card or a card that I think is going to be expensive that I really want to get. It's all like lower rarity things. Like there's a handful of cards. I have a Zada deck that I haven't played in a while. That there's a few cards. I definitely want that Hexing Squelcher.
Yes,
everyone should, even if you don't play red. I think you should want one just in case you ever think about playing red.
Well, just going like
that's such an effective card.
Your spells can't be countered. Like it's just
that's
like
always good.
That's a really good card.
That is
good.
That is an immediate ad.
Like
for
as much as I like Spider Punk, like the fact
it basically power crept Spider Punk like
immediately.
And there's some other cards. There's some like some really good pump spells that I want to put in there. There's some of the lands.
Abundant countryside.
Yeah, that one I want to put in a deck that I'm gonna talk about in a second. What's some other thing? I made a whole list. There's a bunch of cards that I'm hoping to pull in the pre-con.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Mainly for cards that are gonna like pump up my decks more than building around. I haven't looked at enough spoilers to decide if there's like a new commander that I want to build around.
There's just nobody that's like, oh my god, I have to build this person.
Because like here's the thing, like I've been around the block several times, and so like I like the story aspect of them continuing on with characters like Doran the Siege Tower is now weakened from Shadowmoor, so that's kind of cool. You know,
I watched Quips and Guac had a good breakdown. Like it was like a 10-minute video of like what's happening in Lorwyn, and it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
and they've already started the whole students from Strixhaven are like going into the other places.
Yeah,
because there's like 3 students that come into there, and like Ajani has to go get them because they're all in
that's why
shit.
why he's there. They still only have like what since War of the Spark. There's only one planeswalker, right? It's a Johnny.
It's a Johnny, Chandra.
Yeah, because Chandra was in Aether Drift.
I'm pretty sure Liliana is still a planeswalker. Jace is still,
because she's Professor Onyx.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, like
Strixhaven.
Johnny's the only one in Lorwyn, though.
Yes, No, Oko.
Oko's in there.
Yeah,
Oko shows up out of nowhere.
And it's revealed that Oko is originally from Lorwyn.
Yes,
and not
that
from,
makes all the
that
sense.
Oko, I kind of want.
That's
in
a really
this
pimp
deck that
Oko. They broke. Okay, so that's good. That's good because like the thing is like they overdid in Spark. They overdid it and they took a lot of sparks from a lot of planeswalkers. And at that point, they're like only one planeswalker a set. And so this is one of the first times in a while we've had more than one.
Yeah.
So having 2 is kind of cool. So yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I was excited for it when I heard it was announced because I knew it was going to be fucking fire. It's Lorwyn. They have to like for all the OG gamers and even some of the new ones, of course. But for the OG people that have been around before or during Lorwyn, it was one of the best. It was the best set thematically and mechanically, in my personal opinion, since original Ravnica. Like they had gone up and down, and like, you know, Scars of Mirrodin is fine, but like fucking Lorwyn is amazing. As a plane, as a set, as like there were tribes that like goblins were shit before Lorwyn.
And goblins in this one.
Elves got more. I mean, elves don't need more, but elves got more.
I think there's a goblin that lets you blight one to put a -1/-1 counter on it to like counter a spell or some shit like that.
I think they also made like a Jund Auntie as well. But
she's in.
She's one of the commanders.
Yeah.
Auntie Ool.
Oh yeah.
Thematically, the Reaper King No More is just
that's a really cool rad too. Yeah, really rad as well.
Yeah,
because he's only 3 colors now instead of 5.
Which he basically becomes a Necroskitter. In the command zone.
Yeah, yeah, neat stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to take a little moment to talk about that Golgari bitch, High Perfect Morcant. We're finally in there. I've got
Elf Mommy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
and,
she looks really good too.
The tap 3, I don't even notice that typically. I didn't notice it originally. The tap 3 untapped elves and proliferate is
disgusting,
is scary to me.
That's
just in any elf deck.
Well, especially in like what color is she?
She's
green black.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's absolutely gross.
Yeah, if I'm building a commander, because I'm getting the Jund deck, but I've already got Hearthhull, so I don't want another Jund commander. I'm really just
I feel you on that one.
Pieces.
There's some really good pieces in that deck.
Yeah, and because you mentioned Black Sun Zenith being there, I also have a Green Sun Zenith, and I think in Golgari with what you could pull out for like in a high perfect Morcant deck. Like just the elves that you could bring out, like an elf that makes all your forest elves, and then you just tap those and you're proliferating.
I mean, you get the Green Sun Dryad Arbor combo where you like turn 1 Green Sun Zenith for get 2 lands out.
A funny thing you could do is you put in like a Hapatra Vizier of Poisons.
Hapatra.
That whenever you put a -1 counter on,
you get a 1/1
1/1 snake.
Yeah,
I think that's in the precon.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You also run Conspiracy that when it enters, you name a creature type.
Yep.
All creatures you control are the chosen type. You
everywhere.
name elves.
Yeah.
Well, it's just there's an enchantment coming out that whenever I can't remember what it's called, but it's black and it's like whenever an opponent puts like a -1/-1 counter on a thing, you create an elf.
Mm-hmm.
So you can shotgun machine gun the entire board
Mm-hmm.
down.
Yeah.
With her and that out.
And to make it a little easier, just Maha its Feathers Knight. Just make everything's toughness
Maha's
one.
good.
Yeah,
Maha
is good.
and
Maha might go up in price because
I think
of this.
Maha is
Maha has
already
gone up in price.
It's already
yes.
going up, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw.
I'm glad I got mine for $10.
I saw a posting for it for $60.
Yeah. Hell
I think it's
yeah.
at least gone up to like 30
I think the
now.
median is like 30, 35.
Right now, that price, that ain't correct. Right now, the regular Bloomberg printing is currently sitting at 34.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
I-
more
I
than
assume
what
it
I
was.
paid for
However,
it.
And
it
it's
is
been
rising.
20 for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
yeah.
the toughness one, but the thing that really for me sells it is the fact that if you want to target that with anything, you have to discard a card.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get to run the other mono black legendary. Well, there's two, but you get to run the one mono Caravac.
Yep.
Caravac's like all other creatures get -1, -1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a mono black Elvish Thorn situation, and they
Yeah.
can't fucking do shit if they're creature based at all.
Yeah. Hell,
Let-
fucking go Orzhov and
Oh,
then
yeah.
get Elish and Maha, and their whole board wipes
Sure.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about some deck stuff real
Yes,
quick, because
yes.
so I've scrapped Harthel. I was I played it for a couple times, and it's just like it just ended up being Gitrog. So I find Gitrog extremely boring. So I retooled another Jun deck, and I instead went for the other commander, Suzzle or whatever. Zarel.
The one where you can play lands from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Right?
You can play lands from the graveyard, but I'm not really doing that. So whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters on any creature you control equal to the power of Zarzel, which he's a 2/3, 2/5. I can't read that through there. Anyway, so this deck, I built this deck first before I decided on the commander. The reason why I'm using the bug instead of the dragon is because the dragon is too strong. Corvold in casual is not a casual deck. I'm sorry. Bad Corvold deck still beats most mid-tier casual decks just because of the fucking value. You could just run Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds and just fucking go ham with Corvold.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's permanent ramp for his power with +1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
And then you're also drawing cards.
Drawing
So you're keeping the
cards,
system
getting
going.
treasure tokens, doing all that stupid shit. So I decided on the bug because I haven't played with Birthing Pod in a while, and I wanted to do that. So this deck is really more like a Birthing Pod kind of deck where I'm running like little dudes, mid dudes, big dudes, just to try and get value and recurring the dudes or whatever. I have like most of my fetch lands are in here, so I will be able to play them from the graveyard and get some value. There's some upside, but basically what I did was I made a classic Jun good stuff deck where I'm playing like one-up cards that people typically don't play anymore unless they're playing like some other synergies. Like, for example, Oracle Moldiah used to be a card where you could put in any green deck and it was fine because you could like maybe, just happenstance get an extra land drop or whatever. People don't do that shit anymore unless you're playing elves or whatever. Then it's fine as
Or a land heavy deck.
a land heavy deck or mono green. Or you're playing landfall of some kind or whatever. She's in here because I can play lands from the graveyard with my commander. And I really don't have any other effects except for maybe like that, like Dryad of the Elysian Grove is in here or whatever. Everything else is just like fucking Birds of Paradise, Runescar Demon, Heroic Intervention, just like every like Jessica's Will, every like good card that I could put in a Jun deck is in here. We'll see how the synergies play out. I just wanted to build a decent deck without the commander being the focus of it, because typically if you can do that, then it behooves you in games where like people target your commander out and you could still win without her or him. So that's what I did over the past week. Also, Typically, when I'm putting decks together, I usually just know the kind of cards I want to do or whatever. This time, I actually took the time. I took several hours and made a list for myself. A deck like this, there's really no way for you to cheat and look at somebody else's because it's just like a hodgepodge of shit. Mm-hmm. So I took 2 or 3 hours, came up with a list, and was able to find most of the cards out of my own library for it. I'm only missing a couple of small things for it, but yeah.
What was that card you picked up tonight?
Ignoble Hierarch.
Ignoble Hierarch, for me, is another Birds of Paradise. Mm-hmm. So, and the great thing about Pod, I played Pod in competitive Magic and Standard back when it was a standard playable card. And the thing is if you can get a Pod out on turn 2 or 3 with a Birds of Paradise over 1 mana dork, that lets you chain up to your Bloom Tender, which lets you chain up to your, 3-drop, which lets you chain up to your 4-drop and 5-drop. And so, I have Phyrexian Delver. So when I chain into the Delver, I can get my 4-drop back for my Delver and keep going. And I have Grey Merchant of Asphodel as a loop win con kind of thing or whatever. I have both Phyrexian and Ashnod's Altar in here as well. Those are in here mainly to protect my dudes so they don't get exiled. So I'm excited to play it. I'm probably going to end up playing it Friday. I don't know for the tournament or not, but I'm definitely excited to play it.
I really want to find a spare copy of your Commanders because I think it would be really good for Vivictus.
Oh yeah,
and already replace the Ramunip I have in there for it,
right?
Because it's Ramunip plus extra stuff with when I sacrifice things on my end,
right? Right.
Specifically, if you're going to sacrifice lands, you can then pull them out of the
exactly.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Zerel is very cheap because he was part of the pre-con, so
right?
He's out there ready to be.
Yeah, Harful's not expensive either.
That was just such a good pre-con.
It was it had an infinite combo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I stripped out because I don't like that dredge land.
Yeah,
but yeah, so when I went to the rebuilding of it, you had 4 commanders in that deck. You had Hearthhull, Zerel, Corval the Fakehurst King, and Soul of Windgrace.
Yeah,
was also in there.
And typically, you only have 2 options.
Yeah,
you used to have 3 out of every deck, but now you typically only have 2. So for them to put 4 in there, even though 2 of them were reprints, is really cool.
Not to mention the other good legends that were just
there were a lot of really good cards in that.
Focus of Rage, the Get Rog Monster.
Yeah. And honestly, to me, the one that doesn't get enough fanfare, Mayhem Devil. Because if you're going to be if you're sacrificing lands and pinging them for 2, ping them for an additional 1.
I do have a Mayhem Devil in here.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking amazing card. I want to go back to Cat Girls real quick. So Y'shtola, which is a constant project. Apparently, I've lied to everyone and said no. I keep finding better things. I took Delny Streetwise Lookout out of it and replaced it with Helm of the Gas Lord. Creatures aren't bad in Y'shtola, but I want non-creature spells and over 3 mana. And that spell is an enchantment that makes her +2/+2, and she draws a card whenever she deals damage, and she forces people to discard a card whenever she deals damage.
Delany over time has been like one of those commanders where people now can gauge exactly how narrow she is and where she fits in.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of utility there with her and a couple other creatures that were in that deck,
but not enough.
I've also been stripping creatures out of the deck because I want to keep hitting
non-creature spells
stuff.
Yeah,
I played a game last night with my friend John. We were just doing one-on-one just because we didn't have anybody else, and I finally was able to get Aetherflux Reservoir out.
That's a good one.
And it casts 3 spells, and then all of a sudden I have 50, and I shoot him, and he's dead. I hit him with the Hatsune Miku laser, and it's just done. The other thing I took out High Fate Trickster, which may be finding a home in Firelord Azula if I ever put that one together. And I replaced it with Leyline of Anticipation. Because it is a spell that is over 4, but it is also, and it's non-creature.
It can be free.
And it can be free on your first turn, just out and ready to go.
Right.
Which in that deck I think is like, if you have a sorcery board wipe that you can hit with everybody off turn, they're not ready for. I think
Flash is really good.
That's the reason why Fate Trickster was in there. And it's also the reason why Teferi's Protection's in there, because if you have the mana to be able to do that, part of me wants to find a place for Smothering Tithe. But I don't know if I want to take it that hateful, because I've already got Ristic, I've already got Trouble in Pairs, which that deck every deck needs card draw, but she specifically needs spells in hand to trigger her stuff to go out. So yeah. But if I pair that also with and now I've got free mana every turn to fucking throw at everything, I think it becomes the point where, hey, Jay's sitting down, kill him.
Yeah, it's a good chance you get hated off the table.
The thing is, two things. Like, I think people like overestimate Smothering Tithe. Not people that put it in their decks, but opponents that are playing against it. Because unless you're doing like will effects or whatever, typically now, and control decks, it's good. But putting it in any splash white deck is not necessarily great. However, if you're stacking your deck with Ristic Study and Smothering Tithe and different, and you've got Ghostly Prison, things like that, and then you definitely you're exceeding threat limits. And I like decks like that. I like playing decks like that because your opponents have like limited choices and they only have so much removal. So I say put it in there.
My response to that, just real quick, right, and we definitely want to hear from you, Ethan. My response to that is it isn't about one-on-one at that point.
Yeah.
Right? It's not one person looking to remove yourself. It's three people directly targeting you.
Well,
and then when you get to that point in a game, that's when it starts becoming. That's when the most dangerous person in the table is the most vulnerable person at the table. Because if you're identified as the threat, even if you're not the threat,
sure,
your life is in danger in that point.
Well, typically though, we all play decks that are like that have that sort of condentation to them, and when all four players have that, it's basically the same playing field. In my personal opinion.
So one of the decks I built last year
was any of Ethan's decks.
Mm-hmm.
He's automatically the arch enemy.
Yeah, my philosophy is if I want to build a deck, I want to build it to the best of my abilities that I can. If I have like a specific theme in mind, I will still do so with that.
Also, if it becomes too, mindset. You could always take the card out later and power it back down to if it's too much.
One of my favorite decks I've built recently was my Tuvasa deck. Green, white, blue enchantments.
Gross.
Good enchantments like Ristic Study, like Trouble in Pairs, like Smothering Tithe.
Yeah.
Do you have Galadriel, the band Galadriel in there? Doesn't she kind of synergize with that, right?
No, I did not have that.
She's not an enchantment.
She's not enchantment. So is it only enchantments?
It's pretty much only enchantments.
Tuvasa the Sunlit was green, white, blue. Legendary creature Merfolk Shaman for a 1/1. Tuvasa gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control.
Okay.
And the first time you cast an enchantment spell each turn, you draw a card. Basically, I would find myself turning the game from a 4-person commander game into 3 people watch me play solitaire.
Also true.
And it's one of those things like I enjoy building good, powerful decks, but at the same time, I also understand that the same play patterns will cause people to not want to sit down and enjoy a game with me. And I understand the goal of the game is to win, but I also want to make sure that I'm not making the game unfun for everybody else.
See,
it's a hard balance.
I don't care if y'all are not having fun.
Oh yeah,
right.
What I care about is I become the target at the table. I think there are certain effects and certain cards that the first person to play it down becomes the target, whether they should be or not. If you put a Ristic Study down, and smart players are going to be like, okay, now this is something we have to consider, maybe have to eliminate. I look to your Ve Victus deck. I have liked that deck. But every time I've seen it play in a 4-player pod, and again, this is anecdotal, it's the only times I've ever seen it, you trigger Ve Victus once, and then everybody gangs up on you and you're gone.
Yeah.
Well,
and like I said, it's not I kind of want y'all not to have fun. I want y'all to feel bad. I want to win. And so that's always been the big dichotomy with me. And
here's you put down Smothering Tithe, then people are going to go, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's going to be annoying. But really and truly, especially with Smothering Tithe, I found that like after a while, people are just like, fuck it, just get all the mana that you want. But they are going to start targeting you more than they normally would.
Yeah.
You put down a Heuristic Study, it's a little bit, you just put down a Heuristic Study.
It's more of a mild annoyance.
It's more of an annoyance, but it's also like people are that one's a little bit like a step up.
If it's like a naked
but
Heuristic Study.
But if you have a Heuristic Study and then you put down a Smothering Tithe, everybody's like, fuck that.
Yeah,
you are absolutely going to die because we cannot let you have cards and mana.
Well, also one could say like this. It also sticks with Mystic Remora on turn 1, or Heuristic Study on turn 2 ahead of everybody else. Because if you go first, and if you go first and stick a Heuristic Study on turn 1 to 2, you're going to win the game because people are going to play mana rocks after you, and you're going to draw a bunch of cards. And if they don't deal with you quickly, you're going to win. If you don't, they're going to gather up and fuck you with no lube. So it depends, man. It depends on the game itself. It depends on the exact, like, we all sit down and play a game, and whoever goes first and whoever grinds out or whatever. Smothering Tithe, that card is fine, in my personal opinion. It was really good early, but people have, again, it's only as good as everything else. If you have like a board of a bunch of enchantments and you have like a Spear of Safety and all this other, sure, you're going to be the threat every time, but that's not going to happen every game where you get all that shit laid out. People are going to start picking things apart. Especially if they played against your deck or whatever. Like I said, I mean, typically we sit down. I'm like, what are you playing? Okay, you're playing that. I'm going to play this. We're all going to be about the same level. I've got removal. I've got like 14 different things that get rid of enchantments in that Jund deck. I don't give a shit about your Smothering Tithe.
One of my favorite and most consistent decks I've ever built was Svella Ice Shaper. And it was 1 and a red and a green for a legendary Troll Shaman that had the 2 activated abilities. 3 in tap, create basically like an Arcane Signet almost.
Like a Power Stone.
Icy Manolith. And then its second ability was 6, a red and a green tap. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can cast one of those without paying its mana cost.
It's like a really slow Keenan.
It is very akin to Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, in my opinion.
I would say like it's like any of those effects, but you have to tap it and you only get it once. But you have a Seaborn Muse, so
and then you like a lot of like effective untappers, Seaborn Muse effects, mana doublers, triplers, token doublers.
What were usually the cards that every time that I played against this deck? What were the cards that you usually went for? Was it the Phyrexian Praetors? Is that the one that's
hell
the
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
hell yeah.
The Phyrexian
every
Praetors,
fucking time.
Yeah.
It was Portal to Phyrexia.
There's a thing in game theory called dominant strategy, and the Phyrexians are pretty much part of that.
In my Tishar, I was about to say Tishar, my Tamir deck, the one that's like, I can't remember the name of the commander.
Eshki or something like that.
Yeah, Eshki. I have 2 Vorn Colexes.
Svella was
1 Ginger Taxis.
It allowed me to cast a spell, so I would still get the cast triggers. So, like an Apex Devastator with Cascade 4 times.
I would say which Jenga Taxis, but they're both really shitty.
Yeah.
The one that auto counters.
Yeah.
Because that one's meaner than the other
Progress
one.
Tyrants. All of the
I had to cut the other one for a Hullbreaker Horror.
I have Core Augur that I haven't put in.
That's one of my main decks.
And I have the non-titled just Jin Gataxis, which has ward.
Yeah.
And every time you cast a spell, draw a card.
Yeah, the ones that flip aren't as bad.
No.
Because they're not as
that's legitimately one of the reasons why that's in there instead of Core Augur. Because to me, Core Augur is another would have been a lockdown for that. But if that drops and they have some sort of response to that, they're going to kill that, and then they're going to kill you.
If anybody has open blue mana, they're like, oh, this is absolutely getting countered. You are not going to play that.
Yeah, it also has flash.
They have to.
Nothing about that individual seems like it's very fast.
Jay was mentioning Smothering Tide, Tamir Battle Driver or Battle Crier or whatever it's called.
I showed you that card.
Yeah, you did. I thank Ethan every day for that because like that card reduces all my creature spells on my turn by 1 for every creature I control that has power 4 or greater.
Yes.
So I'm just playing free Eldrazi's.
Or as I like to call it, teamer. Like
free Eldrazi. People kill that thing on sight now.
So speaking of Eldrazi's, I have a new deck.
God damn it. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
So it's an Ulalek deck.
Okay.
It's technically an Eldrazi deck because you know what are Eldrazi's?
Oh, because you weren't here for this. Because
I was not here for this.
Changelings are Eldrazi's.
Oh,
so
you terrible poor.
I want to thank Nick's Lotus for the deck list that I put together this because he called it a tribe all deck because it uses a whole bunch of changelings to trigger Ulalek.
Oh God!
Because Ulalek only cares about an Eldrazi being played.
Right.
He doesn't just copy your Eldrazi spells. So it's all of these things, all of these like tribal cards that trigger, so you can stack those and like do all those. So like I can't remember. It's the fairy that when you play a fairy or a wizard, you copy it. If you trigger Ulalek, you can get 4 of whatever changeling that you play. Alayla, Queen of Bears. Whenever a bear comes in, either put some +1/+1 counters on target creature, or it fights another creature.
Yeah,
let's just do that twice.
It's just fucking. It's Omo. It's everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah. What's some of the other ones?
You put in like a lot of the
captivating vampires in there.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just got tons of changelings and then
some support for all tribes.
It's got like 10 cards in there that are like tribal cards.
Yeah.
And he made the deck to where like you can take some stuff out and put some stuff in. You just gotta change the mana base. You can
change it up. Yeah,
you just gotta change the mana base maybe. But
oh my gosh! You put in Ur-Dragon and you swing with them. They're technically dragons, so you're drawing like
they
12
are
cards.
technically dragons.
Yeah, if I wanted to do that's pretty insane because that's very that's very piv intensive.
Yeah,
to get him out
for sure.
But it's got the Dramoka that bolsters too when you attack with dragons. So you can put +1/+1 counters on that. But yeah, you can just do a lot of cool
wacky
things.
shit.
Yeah,
I like wacky shit.
She's mono blue. She's like tap 3 wizards, draw a card. Like it's got tons of things like that.
Oh yeah, Azuri.
Yeah,
Azami.
Lady of Scrolls. Yeah, Azami.
I can't remember all the other stuff. It's got the one that gives all your rats menace.
Oh yeah.
And
some wild shit.
And you can like create a rat, and I think you can also like
Pied Piper or something.
You can also like take control of a target creature. It's got crystalline sliver in there.
Oh,
it just gives all my sliver shroud. What's wrong with that?
Oh my God, I love it.
What's wrong with that?
That's good. No,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like a very fun deck. I've never like had a 5-color deck before.
Dude,
so
you could just do slivers with it and it would be fucking gross.
Oh yeah, it would probably be better than like most sliver commanders.
It would be way better than most sliver commanders
if I wanted to do that. And like I said, there's these 10 slots where I don't have like I get bored with playing with these 10 tribal cards. I can move some things around and just change up the mana base a little bit.
Oh my gosh, Mana Echoes.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, there are ways like you can get so many like copies of all the things in there.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Edgar Markov.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to go that far hard with it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to pay that much money for. I'm looking for like
budget stuff,
more fun stuff.
Yeah,
like I'm probably gonna put Choco in there eventually.
Sure,
nice, Edgar's budget now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's severely dropped in.
He's not $100.
Yeah. Well, there was a Innistrad. Was it the
Innistrad remastered?
Yeah,
he got a reprint. But yeah, I'm really looking
like
forward to playing this game. This deck.
Yeah.
It seems fun. It seems like it's gonna be.
Is it ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it.
If I got time, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, y'all are doing SETI tomorrow.
Yeah, we're playing.
Never
you're
mind.
playing SETI. But yeah. I noticed that like you looked at your phone and then you looked away. He must not be like super cheap.
I wasn't gonna interrupt you.
Okay.
How much is
okay,
he?
it's not as budgeted as I was expecting. It's 28.
Okay.
28.
Well, it's not $100.
Which is better than the 100
I'm not
that
paying
he used to
28
be
for
set
Edgar
at.
Yeah.
Markov. I don't particularly like that card at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
And honestly, if he's not
In the command zone?
if Eminence isn't
Yeah.
happening,
He's not
so
good.
This is going to be mean, but I think Edgar Markov is a card that makes people think that they're smarter and better deck builders than they actually are because they feel like they're being clever when all you're doing is putting a whole bunch of vampires in there. So it's not as hard.
But that's very clever. You get something that synergizes with vampires, and you put
Yeah, you just put your vampires in there but it makes you feel like, oh man, I really knocked this one out of the park, and all you did was put a whole bunch of fucking vampires in there. You didn't do anything special.
Take that, Markovists.
Yeah. You're probably like not a great person if you think that it's a good idea to build an Edgar Markov deck. But
God
Man,
damn.
you are like 2 weeks bold statements we've
But
got.
yeah,
I feel the same way about people who build Caesar, but Jason Holder's a good friend of mine.
but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, to playing this deck. I've been excited about it for a while, and basically use some Christmas money to get.
Yeah, I like when people can do interesting things with commanders that typically you wouldn't think about, like doing something like that. So
if somebody drops Ulek, you're like, oh fuck, I know exactly what the fuck this is.
No, you don't.
Nope.
Nope. I mean, it's
Completely
technically an
out of left
Eldrazi
field.
deck, but
Yeah.
it's not.
It's great too because you're gonna throw them off the first couple times they play you because they're not gonna know what the fuck to do. Like which one thing do I need to get rid of?
Yeah. I'm gonna play Captivating Vampire. What the fuck is this doing in here?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, wait a minute. This thing gives all of your creatures poisonous 1 because they're all slivers. Oh shit, you're bouncing all my permanents because they're all slivers.
yeah.
Oh shit, they all fly because they're all slivers.
I might eventually doing that because like the only slivers that are expensive are the commanders that they use for it.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's 100%
exactly.
fair.
All the other ones are commons and uncommons.
Yeah, I just put 10 slivers
There
in
are
there.
two.
and it's
There are
all-
2 of them that tap mana.
Mana Weft.
Yeah, Mana Weft, and there was another one. I
There's
can't
2 of
remember.
them. There's 1 for poisonous. There's 1 for rampage.
But some of those lands that I was mentioning are definitely going to be put on there because they like 2 of them basically like they either tap for a colorless, which I want in that deck, or you can tap you like choose a creature type and then you can tap for but for any color, but you only use it to play those creatures. And activate abilities of them. So
like secluded courtyard. Or something
it's like secluded courtyard and abundant countryside.
Yeah, I need a copy.
And then there's
of
a third one
Countryside.
that most of these are in that precon. That's one of the reasons I want to get it because there's another one that's like you choose either like elemental. You choose it's like elemental goblin,
Primal Beyond.
Yeah. Elemental goblin, all the Lorwyn races. You
Right.
choose one of those, and it does the same thing for it. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to put those in there because
Man, that deck could really use a Cavern of Souls. Am I right?
I mean, yeah, sure.
If you had an extra $50 or whatever the fuck. That
Yeah,
costs.
I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a deck that I'm super excited about playing.
Sounds pretty cool, man.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll when we go on a break, I'll get it so y'all can look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's all we
Yeah,
got.
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
All right. The corner ends here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us this week. If you'd like to leave feedback on this or any of our previous episodes, email us at travelersontheomnibus@gmail.com. Also, if you're on Spotify, please take part in any of our polls for this or any of our previous episodes where polls are still active. Leave a comment on any of the episodes you've been listening to. Also, if you'd like to share our podcast with other folks that like to listen to stuff like this, but don't necessarily listen to it on the same things you listen to podcasts on, we're available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube Music through our YouTube channel, Travelers on the Omnibus, and iHeartRadio. With that being said, bus is leaving the rest stop. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week, maybe even later this week. Who knows? But yeah, for Travelers on the Omnibus, I'm James McCarthy. Thanks for stopping by and enjoying the ride, guys. Have a good one.